Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing. Remember to comment down below, bell notification, like the channel, and share most importantly to get that education, truth, and information you need to fleece, heist, and shiest the criminal gangsters and the market manipulators that control these markets. And remember, for a once a day daily cryptocurrency and blockchain and XRP video on this December the 15th, 2024, you can become yes members of Jabroni Killers to support the channel. Super chat if you appreciate the content to keep this information flowing tree free once a day, every day. And if you would like to use my Robinhood or Coinbase link below, that is what I trade with in the United States, where I do all my official trading on Robinhood is your cheapest and easiest way to trade cryptocurrency. And with the most coins available at a cheap rate, I use Coinbase, and both of the links are down below. And the members of Jabroni Killers are just, I believe, $2.69 a month, the cheapest and best value on the blockchain and cryptocurrency. And if we look at some exciting news that we had happen today, we had a new all-time high breached in the Bitcoin price, and we're going to bring this into the full screen. And we did hit 106,836.86 in change on our way. It looks like now to that $112,202 mark as we continue to hold that 50-day in the 4-hour time frame and have not breached the 50-day in the daily time frame in quite some time. Ever since we've gotten over right here and started to break out at about 62,000. We haven't breached the 50-day moving average in the daily time frame. And as long as we stay above the 50, you're very bullish. And as long as we stay above the 200, you're still very bullish, right? And then you can see the 100-day in green would be your flip. If you ever get below the 100-day in green, that is when you usually flip bearish in the daily time frame. But we are way out ahead of that. And we continue to bounce off the shorter term moving averages. And if we go back to the 4-hour, you can see this big last spike ever since about Tuesday of last week. We had a wick low down here at 94,000, and then we've had a tremendous spike in the Bitcoin price of greater than 13%. And we're going to continue to see now if we do make it all the way up to that $112,000 target that we had up there. And we do have a much higher target overhead, unless I took it off. I might have took it off. Or it might be to where I got to go out into the daily. It probably is. Out into the weekly, I appreciate way up there. That's our ultimate target of $379,849 over the next maybe year to 2 years. But that is our major overhead target. And we've showed you a few times on how we got to that target based off of what could be that long consolidation the last 3 years in the breakout. And our underneath support, our major underneath support is $89,879. And then the moving averages in the 4-hour and the daily are your major underneath support, like we just showed you. As long as you stay above the 50 in the daily time frame, you're very bullish, right? If we go look at BTC, you can see recently we've had a consolidations in the altcoins, and that's because in the 4-hourly, you can see ever since about the 3rd to the 9th of December, we've been having an uptrend where we've been selling some profit off in some of these altcoins, and we've been dumping back into Bitcoin, and we're getting closer to that 58.55% Bitcoin dominance. And from our swing low, and this is when we had a lot of those altcoins from about the 21st of November all the way into about the first week of December, we had an 11% drop in Bitcoin dominance, people selling Bitcoin profit and then pumping them into the altcoins to try to catch a run, which a lot of them did go up 3, 4, or 500%. And now the last week or two, we've had a 4.5 to almost 5% increase in the Bitcoin dominance up to 57.26%, with a high of 58%, which is people taking profit out of the altcoins in the rally that they had and then dumping them back into Bitcoin. Thus has pushed the Bitcoin price to a new all-time high. So we're going to continue to watch that. Ethereum price continues to break out, and now we're getting back at a level that we seen back in March, and then we got close again back in May, and then we touched again in the first week of December, and we're threatening to break out of this in Ethereum. And I do believe we're going to reach an all-time high in Ethereum, which the all-time high in Ethereum is sitting up here at about 4,800. And I do think we're going to go higher than that here on this current bull stretch in an up and down fashion. But I believe that's where the Ethereum is going. If we look at AMP, I'm still very bullish on AMP. It's been reloading. You notice the volume here after we had this nice spike in volume here back in the springtime where we had a 5x return. We're now in the monthly, we're in our second straight monthly candle of green and we're uptrending in the volume still. So that leads me to believe we're still very, very short to medium term bullish in AMP. And you can see it almost looks like we've consolidated again, just like we've done two other times once right there, a second time right there, and now it looks like we're consolidating a third time. And if we break out of this, our targeted move is up here to 2 3/4 cents. And from the current price, that is a 133% move from current price, right? And I still think we're going there. And I still think we're going to eventually end up all the way up here at about between 5 and 7 cents. And that is what I'm continuing to watch out for you guys and continuing to play myself. If we look at XLM, I've been short-term bullish on this recently ever since about right here because we've had a continued consolidation after an 8x return. And now in the 4 hourly, we're slightly below the 50 and the 100 in red and blue respectively. And if we do break to the downside, you'd be looking at a target of around 32 cents and then 23 cents. Not saying it's going down there, but those are your two underneath targets. On a pump up to the upside, we're going to go up and try to take out that 63 cents of our regional high. The same thing with the XRP. I've been a little short-term bullish for a couple of weeks, and it's been trending down. It's trying to pump back up to the upside, but just like XLM, the volume is trending down in the weekly. If we go out to the weekly or the daily, you can see the volume is dramatically declining in the daily. And then if we zoom out to the weekly, it's also dramatically declining. Although we did have a recent volume spike, which you can see the big pump up in volume right here, which is not even anywhere close to what it was back in the day. But you can see in the weekly now, we've had 1, 2, 3 consecutive candles below the big three candle weekly spike right there. And now we're starting to trend down. So I'm still hedging short to medium term bearish here, long term bullish, but we'll continue to see if it can't hold this 50-day moving average up here at about $2.41 and try to break up to that $3.35 or the old all-time high. And then your underneath targets are the moving averages in the daily time frame. And let's see where they're at now in the daily. You can see in the daily time frame, we have $1.89, $1.55, $1.22, and then we have 92 cents on the moving averages. And the first underneath support is $1.89 that we've tagged a couple of times. And that is from the old spike here on our last consolidation back here. If we zoom back into the 4 hour time frame, zoom this back in, you can see that was this last consolidation before we breached a regional high and then had that last great pump. So those are the areas that I'm watching out for. The $1.90 is underneath support, $3.35 is major upper resistance, which is the old all-time high. And then the moving average is staggered down in the daily at $1.58. If we go back to the daily time frame, you can see $1.58 or slightly higher because these moving averages are trending up. $1.62, $1.22, and 92 cents are your three major moving averages that in the daily time frame that we're watching out for, that we're going to continue to pay attention to see if we start to trade a little short-term bearish. That's what we're going to be watching out for if we have a consolidation, a continued consolidation with our profit taking, or if we're going to start to get the buyers or the bulls to come back in after this short consolidation to the downside and then start to try to trade off and breach that all-time high, just as the Bitcoin price has been outperforming everything over the last couple of years as the bulls just continue to flood into there and it continues to breach and make new all-time highs. What else do we have here that people like? We got some other things that people ask about. We'll try to take a look at these real quick. We have Algo that my lovely audience likes. And we'll take a look at Algo here, and you can see we're still trading down. And you can see too in Algo, the volume has been steadily declining here in the daily time frame after we hit that major green resistance box that goes from about 90 cents at the upper end to about 52 cents at the lower end, and we got rejected with our industry exclusive perching tool, not that lame ass line tool. We peaked out here and we've been trading sideways to down just above the 50 and just above the 35 cents. We tapped once and had a quick pump back on a wick, but you can see the volume peaked out here on November the 24th and has been steadily declining in the daily time frame in a nice consolidation. But if we can see the volume pump back up, we could try to make a run at 90 cents. But on the underneath support, if we continue to trade down, we're going to look at the 24 cents to the 35 cents as your major underneath support. XDC is the same thing. We've traded, we got a resistance line up here at 12 or 1.2 cent, or what is that, 12 cents. And we peaked out just below that and we've been trading down. But if you notice again, the volume's been coming down. So your underneath support on XDC, you can see we got this old price note that we used to use that shows you how long it's been all the way down here at the major breakout of about 3 cents is your major underneath support. But then your more short-term support would be along that would be your moving averages. And the first moving average is here at about 6 cents or so. Zill, we got rejected off of that 3 cent, or what is that? Yeah, 3.5 cents. And that's a major resistance zone in Zill, local resistance zone, and we got knocked down. And the volume has been declining. So the moving averages still are what you want to hold in Zill, and the moving averages in the daily time frame are down here, roughly between 1 3/4 cents and about 2.5 cents, right? To remain bullish, you want to just hold the moving averages on this consolidation. Dogecoin has been trading sideways, maybe attempting to try to make a breakout. What else do we have here that people like? We had some other stuff. DGB is another one that people like. We hit that 2 1/3 cent, and now the volume's been trading down and sideways. So, like we were talking about, we just want to hold these shorter and long-term moving averages in the daily time frame. So, if you can hold the 1 1/4 cents or the 0.00923 cents, you remain bullish and can try to break that 0.2 3/4 cents. XYTZ, we've been trading sideways on this, and we're going to look to see if the volume can't pump back in. ZBC, we can see we had a lot of movement here. We went all the way up to about the 0.0015186, got harshly rejected, and did trade about 42% down and got supported just above that point, a bunch of zeros, 8648. And now we're trying to trade back up. So as long as you can hold these moving averages, the shorter term moving averages in the daily, you can remain short term bullish. EOS did get above that 1.23 cents and then got rejected and it's trading down. But this is the same thing. You want to just hold these shorter term moving averages and the medium term moving averages at about 73 cents to remain short-term bullish. And SHX, I'm not sure what this coin is, but we're getting rejected at about the 1.5 cents. And you want to try to break that 1.5 cents to try to move to the next level to the upside. And as long as you hold your initial underneath support down there at about the 50-day moving average at 0.00931813, you would remain short-term bullish. And that takes a look at the coins today. Let's see if there's any news here that's of relevance with the Bitcoin, seeing as we have been pumping. Bitcoin rises to record after longest weekly winning run since 2021. Bitcoin hits 106,000. MicroStrategy hints at first Bitcoin purchase above 100,000. That seems to be about everything. World's largest exchange sees a abnormal 100 million Bitcoin activity. Let's see what this is. Over the weekend, something unusual happened with Bitcoin transactions on one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges. Whale Alert keeps an eye on a series of big transfers showing how over a billion showing how over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin shifted between wallets. Among these transfers, one in particular caught our attention, 50 million transaction. It involved 500 BC Bitcoin moving from Binance to an unknown wallet, following shortly by near identical return transaction of 499 Bitcoin sent back to Binance. And then there was more. Today we saw a large scale transfer with millions more of Bitcoin value changing hands. A lot of transactions involve thousands of BTC being exchanged between anonymous wallets. Some of the figures were pretty big. 2,600 worth BTC worth 265 million, 3,000 Bitcoin worth 305 million, and 4,998 BTC worth over $500 million being moved between various unknown. One particular eye-catching transaction, 1,000 BTC or 102.9 million shifted from Bybit to an unknown wallet, contributing to the overall surge. In total, tons of Bitcoin changed hands, which is a lot of it following between wallets that don't have identifiable owners or clear intentions. The timing of the transactions is noteworthy as they occurred while Bitcoin price climbed 1.5%, reaching 103,000. Such high volume movement often accompanies shift in market sentiment or strategic decisions by institutional players from CoinMarketCap. Like, subscribe, and share to my beautiful, lovely, glowing audience. Peace and love.